Okay, so Tim, let's talk about heat exposure training. Heat exposure training versus passive heat exposure, which we would be talking about exposure to hot tubs and saunas. That's passive. We're talking active. So in training, what can we do to potentially increase our performance just simply through exposure to heat? There's a ton of research out there, but in summary, the benefits include, increased blood plasma volume, so blood oxygen carrying capacity, increased mitochondria density, so the powerhouse of our cells, which are responsible for initiating that energy production. Pretty cool thing there. We have things like bringing forward and increasing sweat rates, so training our bodies to sweat earlier and more, effectively also keeping our bodies cooler. We have this mental aspect too, to becoming mentally more resilient to the discomfort of being exposed to, a hot environment. So we've got the just the heat tolerance in and of itself, the physiological and the mental benefits. And so how do we best do this? I like to break it down into you say 3 key areas. One is just simply exposure to the warm of the day. So you pick the warmest part of the day and you go out and you do your session, probably not in its entirety. We want to make sure that when we're exposing ourselves to warmer, like a lot warmer environments, we do it in bite-sized pieces in doses and increase our exposure and thus tolerance to that over time. We have the ability to also, secondly, control our indoor environment. So we could be inside with the door shut, the heater on, of course always be running your fan, and even maybe you're trying to expose yourself to heat and humidity in the bathroom with the shower on to create some humidity in that space. And then third is just wearing simply more clothes. So it might not necessarily be a super warm day out or even inside, but you're layering up, you're wearing gloves, beanies, extra layers to create that warmer environment closer to your body. Because exposure to heat is risky, it can cause dizziness, fatigue, confusion. It can sit you into a situation, a scenario where it's health-wise not a good idea. So we want to dose our bodies pretty regularly, but in small doses to begin. I want to make sure that you stay hydrated before, during and after your sessions, making sure that you're not depleting your system, even though you might be only dosing in small episodes. We still want to make sure that you're taking care of the hydration piece and really tuning into the cues that your body is sending you. If you're feeling a little off, if things are, if you feel a little disoriented or even confused, very low energy, extremely high heart rate for RP, for rate of perceived exertion, relatively speaking. These are the cues to stop, take care of yourself, and take a little step back and make sure that you're bringing this heat exposure into your training in small doses in a really, really safe way. Have fun with it.